Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. The Idaho State Police were invited in by the Moscow Police Department to assist with the investigation into the catastrophic events that occurred at 1122 King Road. There are hundreds of pages of documents and hundreds of pages of photographs from the Idaho State Police concerning their role into the investigation of the crimes at 1122 King Road. The items are located online for you to access free of charge at a website that is maintained by the Idaho State Police. There are 3 categories right now. 2 are photographs. 1 is a section for reports. If you go to the reports section, the very first document that you will see is entitled Initial Call Out, Idaho State Police. It is listed as original. The original report was prepared by Jeffrey R. Talbott. It tells us here that on November 13th, 2022, the Moscow Police Department requested the Idaho State Police District 2 investigations to assist with a multiple person unaliving located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. Reports to follow. And we see at the bottom Jeffrey R. Talbott's name listed here. This is page 1 of 1 that tells us that this is a single page document, unlike some of the others that you will see that are multiple pages, such as the one that we reviewed in a prior episode of the Indie Zone, where a 7-page report, certain pages prepared by Jeffrey R. Talbott, was discussed in comparison to the original Affidavit of Probable Cause dated December 29th, 2022, prepared by and signed under oath by Detective Brett Payne of the Moscow Police Department. Those reports taken together suggested that the sheath, which has been central in this case, was found on the left side of Madison in her bedroom at 1122 King Road, according to Detective Talbott, whereas Detective Payne in the Affidavit of Probable Cause indicated that that sheath was found on Madison's right side. In this presentation, I want to focus your attention on another document. This is entitled Photo Log, Idaho State Police. This is document or supplement number 0080. It was prepared by Gideon Roberts, and the report date is January 6th, 2023. We see here under the Administrative Information section that Gideon Roberts is a detective with District 2, and that the title of this report is indeed Photo Log. And under the summary narrative, it states that on November 13th, 2022, at about 5:40 p.m., Idaho State Police Detective and Fed Task Force Officer Gideon Roberts assisted with the processing of a quadruple unaliving scene located at 1122 King Street, Moscow, Idaho. The victims were identified as Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan. I was assigned by ISP Detective Jeff Talbott to photograph the scene. Under the narrative section, it reads as follows. Paragraph number 1. On November 13th, 2022, at about 5:40 p.m., I assisted with the processing of a quadruple unaliving scene located at 1122 King Street, Moscow, I was assigned by Detective Talbott to photograph the scene. Paragraph 2, while photographing the scene, I deleted photos that were completely washed out, expecting the deleted photos serial number to be reassigned to the next photo captured, and the photo serial numbers to continue in sequential order. Later, as I was completing the photo log, I discovered that each photo I deleted also deleted the associated serial number instead of reassigning it, causing a gap in the sequential order, i.e., ISP 4639, ISP 4641. Paragraph 3. I completed the photo log and included it in the case file. The photos were transferred to the Moscow Police Department, and then at the bottom we see page 1 of 1 with the officer's name here listed as Gideon Roberts. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could interject a few comments here, provide some speculation, some opinions, and some commentary. Number one, we see here that Detective Jeff Talbott was indeed the lead officer in charge of this crime scene at 1122 King Road. We see here that he was the one who specifically assigned Detective Roberts the important role of photographing the crime scene for the ISP, and that he did so at about 5:40 p.m. on November 13th, 2022. If you look through other reports, you will see that Detective Talbott assigned all manner of tasks to individuals regarding the crime scene, processing and investigation, including how drone imagery would be taken and handled and managed, as we see from another report. Secondly, going to these photographs, it is unclear how many photographs were deleted and what those photographs depicted, nor is there any explanation of what Detective Roberts meant when he said they were completely washed out. And then we see here that the photo log was included in the case file, but the photos themselves were transferred to the Moscow Police Department. We had learned in the report that was the subject of our prior presentation, comparing what Detective Payne saw regarding the placement of the sheath versus what Detective Talbott saw regarding the placement of the sheath. That the physical evidence from the property, including the sheath itself, was transferred to the Moscow Police Department. They maintained the physical evidence. And then finally, in the report that we addressed from Detective Talbott regarding the placement of the sheath as he saw when he went up into that third floor bedroom belonging to Madison, accompanied by Detective Payne, as well as Mr. Thompson and Ms. Jennings, two of the prosecutors for the state of Idaho. He had noted that there was some red substances located on a banister leading from the second to the third floor that he described as possibly being relevant to the crime scene. A photograph presumably taken by Detective Roberts shows where this banister was. It wasn't from the first to the second floor. It was to the second to the third floor, and it was that portion of the banister that was closest to the third floor. I recommend that you read these reports for yourself. They're available free of charge, and they contain so much information that I believe is relevant to serious researchers of the case. The opinions that I give here are pursuant to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. They are complete opinions, comments, and speculation. If you have any comments, opinions, thoughts that you would like to provide relative to this matter, please do so here. And until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you very much for joining us here today.